Can we get a grown-up at the SBA to handle these files? I got more props, baby.
Props or problems? A very excellent SBA loan officer said to me 8 weeks ago, she said, you know, Trevor, it's actually very simple. It's a tax return and a credit report, and that's it. That's literally all it is. If you're being told by the idiots at the SBA that your 4506T is bounced because of the IRS, do not believe them. We've also seen the gatekeeper idiots at the SBA are bouncing 4506Ts by saying the IRS will not accept this because you need to have the spouse's signature on it, even though your spouse is not in the business, but it's a 1040. Or it must have an ink signature.
Hold on. The SBA is saying the form is wrong, even if it's right. They're not even following the IRS instructions, which is a one-page document that precedes the one-page document.
Yeah, the 4506T comes with an instruction page.
We were filling it out correctly. If a client moved,
which, you know, 2 years into COVID, people have moved. Hello.
Their 2019 tax return has an address, but there's a line on the 4506T that says, for current address. We have filled it out correctly based on the client's information, and the SBA has come back and said that the form is wrong and that IRS will reject it.
And you're in
for
reconsideration
9 months,
mostly because of the stupidity at SBA. A, they don't tell you what's defective about your application. You got to figure it out on your own. B, you follow somebody like us, you send in the right paperwork. They don't even read the paperwork.
For all of you who are still in limbo, may have gotten a decline letter, you still want to file a reconsideration. You have to keep fighting. They don't even know how to read forms and do math.
Yeah, just keep going. With the over $30 million in approvals that we have obtained for clients, it really comes down to a simple document set.
Yeah.
The paperwork and process. Getting the right person at SBA, hit or miss. So your question is, I will look elsewhere. I'm in need of money for marketing funds. Any advice? Thank you for bringing this up. We used to do a series of videos, If Then Thursday and
Finance Friday.
But one of the things we said back then, Eric, was if you're putting together financing for your business, number one, steer clear of merchant cash advance accounts. You've heard of the mafia. The MCA people make those kind of criminal organizations look like a bunch of ballerinas.
I'm going to put a link in the chat. There's a shark on the thumbnail.
So avoid those horrible cash advance. And we know they're banging down your door, and it's some punk 19-year-old who can't even spell the word amortization, promising you the moon, the sun, the stars. All they're looking to do is rip your eyes out. What I would say, Eric, is reach into your contacts and try to borrow money or bring investors in to your business.
He doesn't say that lightly.
Which is the next level I want to go to. So if you're going to bring in an outside party, a family member, friends, business associates, and you're going to bring these folks in to provide some of the financing, make sure you hire a real attorney to draft the paperwork. Don't do legal. I look at Zoom articles of formation all the time. They are total crap. It is clear that people just took a shortcut. They should have hired an attorney to write an ironclad agreement that protects you and your business. Because here's what happens when small business owners like you bring in outside parties.
Oh yeah, we have a blog about it. We did a video.
What do investors typically do after 6 months after they put their money into the business?
Tell you how to run your business. We went through that with a client.
You built this little business, you need money to expand, so you bring in an investor, and 6 months later the schmuck is telling you how to make the pizza because he's looking to get a return on his investment. But if you had an ironclad agreement in writing which says you don't get to tell me how to run the business, and this is how and when I will pay you, and you're assuming some of the risk here. I just received my declination letter this afternoon, he said. We have no respect at all for declination letters from the SBA today and now more than ever, because it appears to me that SBA clerks are just clearing the decks. They're not even looking at the files. I know.
Why do we know?
Because we've gotten about a half dozen or 8 so far today alone on our clients. And it is obvious from the moronic reasons given in the letters that the SBA did not even look at my documents that I, a professional financing loan officer, prepared and submitted to you morons at the SBA, and you're not even reading it yet, idiots. The SBA is a useless agency that should be completely dissolved. Mission from 1953 to provide working capital to underrepresented groups like women and minorities and Native Americans. It was failing at that mission before COVID. The SBA literally does not read their own forms. It says SBA at the top, and they don't even read their own forms. ISABEL GUZMAN, I had so much hope for you, and you know what? You get an F- because you have failed in the one thing you needed to excel at, the COVID-19 EIDL program. Congress needs to tell you, Mr. Biden, you need to fire Ms. GUZMAN and put someone else in this job who will straighten out this agency. Wait, what am I talking about? This agency cannot be straightened. Politicians, complete waste of time. Your politician did not get you approved.
It's all about the timing. The politicians have no juice. This mess would have been cleaned up by now. It's all about who's working on your file. It's all about the loan officer.
If you're applying for financing, folks, you should anticipate that the lender who's going to lend you the money, in this case SBA, at any point along the journey from application to funding may run your credit report once, twice, 3 times, and make sure your credit report is not locked. A lot of folks get these declinations, unverifiable information. Well, that's because the morons at SBA don't give you the real reason. What they should write, the way we used to do it in the mortgage business, they should say, unable to access your credit report. We have no frozen pizzas left here in the house, so I don't really know what I'm doing for lunch. We thank you all for tuning in today.